Am I the asshole for showing up to my nephew's birthday party without the cupcakes I said I would bake? A couple of weeks ago was my nephew Sam's 10th birthday. I love Sam so much. I would probably not be lucky enough to have my own son, so I am so happy to be able to know him. But I don't have a great relationship with my older brother. He did everything the right way: good grades, good school, good job, good wife. I have always been jealous at how easily being normal comes to him. I did not do well in school, got in a lot of trouble, didn't finish college, I've picked bad boyfriends, basically every wrong choice you could make. Suffice to say, he and I are not on the same page, and he doesn't take me seriously. But the one thing he does appreciate is that I can bake. He asked if I could bake cupcakes for the party in a Spider Man theme. Of course. Edited to add that Sam did not know. They were going to be a surprise, and Spider Man is just his favorite superhero. Well, then I was laid off. I didn't do anything wrong except be the last person hired. I was devastated and ended up drinking with my roommates instead of baking the cupcakes. It just felt like another in a long line of stupid things. I ended up going to the grocery store and buying cupcakes at two different stores, which was hard on the bus, but it was important. Thank God it's graduation season. I showed up and told my brother up front what happened and apologized. He said, "You've got to be fucking kidding me." He was furious. I apologized a bunch of times. I never once made an excuse. It was 100% entirely my fault. He told me that I shouldn't have even come, and the cupcakes were the only reason he'd invited me. I felt awful and left without seeing Sam. My mom called me when I was on the bus ride home to ask me why I would be such an airhead and show up without the one thing I was invited for. She said she thought she raised me smarter than that, but then she said, well, I guess not, with an ugly little haw at the end. I accept that I am fully 10,000% responsible for not having the Spider Man cupcakes, but I think I did my best to try to make up for it by getting any cupcakes I could find. I didn't show up empty handed. I didn't put it on them to come up with a solution. Am I wrong, and was it the wrong thing to do? Come to one. How old are you? These things are annoying in the moment, sure, but driving a kid home from a party is pretty normal. How much do you drink? OP. I am 31. I drink occasionally. I don't get drunk very often anymore. I had my fill of that when I was in college. Commodore 2. So I'm assuming you don't have a drinking problem? Where does this level of reaction come from? Have you dropped the ball like this for other things? OP. Yeah. About 4 years ago, I was supposed to go on vacation with them to celebrate being out of COVID. I was not able to go because that company also had layoffs. I had to cancel last minute, and it made it all the more expensive for them. They were really mad about that one. I had to save that money for rent, though. I was down a roommate. But they were right that at my age, I should have had savings. A few years before that, I had to move back in with my mom and dad because of a bad situation I had with a guy. They had been getting ready to convert my room to the grandkids' hotel, and that had stopped them for a year, which ended with it just never happening because of the timing of COVID. I did not finish college, and that was probably the worst thing I chose to do to them. I was failing, and I just wasn't good enough to balance both, so I ended up dropping out. I hoped I'd go back, but I wasn't passionate about anything, and it's too expensive to not know why I'm there. Yeah, it sounds like your family just hates you because you kind of messed up earlier in life, and it's kind of like a snowball effect to where, once you kind of mess up, it's like the world is very unforgiving. And in a way, I can tell that you're really trying because you've had jobs, right? There's like you were at a company, you got laid off. You're at another company, you got laid off, right? And there's nothing you can do about that, right? So, I mean, the drinking thing, you're kind of an asshole for that, but you shouldn't be just like getting drunk instead of making the cupcakes if you really wanted to go see them that badly. Like, I feel like if you wanted to see them that badly, you would have prioritized them over your issues and tried to put it off for a day. But I mean, even then, I understand that getting laid off is fucking rough, and in the moment, you want anything but to think about it. So, I don't know, let's get into the update and see if there's, like, maybe some resolution here. Update, 6 months later. Hi, thanks for all the comments before about me failing to bring the Spider-Man cupcakes to my nephew's party. I think I have an okay update to share. I was sort of spiraling when I wrote my post before, and that it happens very often to me. Yes, I messed up, but life goes on. I have not been able to find a good job, but I have been making ends meet with cleaning houses. Last week, my family got together for Thanksgiving, and I surprised my nephew by bringing him a small batch of Spider Man cupcakes, and he was over the moon. My brother thanked me for it, so that was nice. My mom said, better late than never, I guess, and she and my dad laughed together. I also baked a pie to bring, but I ended up dropping it. For the first time in my life, I stood up for myself against them, and I told them that it was really hurtful that they can't ever just be supportive. That post made me reflect on all the ways over the years that they just haven't taken me seriously, or have ignored my small wins because I don't get the big ones like my brother. They argued with me, and then probably the best thing ever happened. My sister-in-law stood up for me. She said that ever since she's been part of this family, she has seen the way they talk to me and about me, and laugh at me behind my back, and treat me like someone else's daughter. She said they have been doing it for years. They tried to pull the "she knows it's out of love" card on me, and I told them that I don't feel loved by them and never have, and brought up that she said the only reason I was ever invited to that party was for the cupcakes. My mom tried to say that wasn't true, but my sister-in-law stopped her and said that's exactly what she said. My mom and dad were quiet for a little bit, and then my dad said he didn't realize how sensitive I am and that they'll try to do better. I was so happy. Yes, I thank my sister-in-law so much, and we have been texting a ton. I didn't realize she liked me. I think 2026 is going to be my year, and I'm so excited. My biggest hope is to find a job that helps me save money so that I can get my own place by 2028. Happy holidays, everyone. So, although I don't like the way your dad worded it, he said, "My dad said he didn't realize how sensitive I am and that they'll try to do better." That almost puts the blame back on you. So if anything, I feel like they're still kind of deflecting the problem and not taking accountability for it. But there is a huge positive to this, which is that you gained a supportive family member in your sister-in-law. That is fucking awesome. Okay, cherish that friendship. I can already tell she's a great person. Butting into family affairs is not easy, especially when she's technically your family. But she did it anyways, and she didn't care what your parents thought of her. And that takes fucking courage, dude. So she's a great person. I'm very glad that you have now, like, you're now friends with her. And I hope that you continue your friendship in the future. But other than that, it seems like you're getting your life together again, which you already kind of had it together. You just, like, were getting unfortunate with the layoffs. Life's not fair. So I hope that you continue to have a great life, and I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.